Hello, Robs. We're back with new book arrivals, number 246.
I was the first to board Rocket X. I stood in the airlock and watched my men marching down the field toward the spaceship. I could see they were in good spirits and ready for whatever lay ahead on this man's first attempt to rocket to the moon.
We are the men of the space force. We're off to the moon. Blast off. We're off to the moon. Blast off. Flying through space, faster than sound we go. Look in the earth below. The men of the space force. We're off to the moon. Blast off. We're off to the moon. Blast off. We're off to the moon.
All members of the crew, prepare for blast off. Fasten safety belts. Motors on. Prepare for firing. Counting off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. As we shot to the sky, I heard a scream for help from the forward chamber. But the tremendous pressure of the blast off made me unable to move. When we reached outer space, I made my way forward and found a stowaway. Say, what are you doing here, son?
I'm sorry, Captain. I just had to be on the first rocket to the moon.
What's your name, son?
Johnny, sir.
Johnny, sir.
All right, Johnny.
All right, little Johnny.
Set back and have him rig up a spacesuit for you.
Yes, sir. Hey, Captain, wait a minute. Look what's happening. I'm floating in the air. Now I'm on the ceiling.
There you are. I'll help you down.
What happened?
Well, Johnny, you see, the Earth has a magnetic pull that we call gravity. Out here in space, we're beyond the pull of gravity. So there's no weight to anything, and no up and down, which is why I wear these magnetic units on my shoes. Now look, Johnny, you'd better report to...
Now, look, Johnny, I'm shutting this shit off. All right, we're going on to our book reviews here. Not book reviews, but these are my recent, well, yesterday's. Is it today? No, today's still Monday. These are Monday's finds at various thrift stores. I got quite a few books, and I also picked up a bunch of these courses on great literature, which are DVD. They're actually video too, so they're several hours, 30 minutes per lecture. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours per thing. So gives you a basic outline of different things like the Epic of Gilgamesh and the Bible and Plato, Socrates, etc. I will use them for when I have I'm going to do my jigsaw puzzles on here. Exciting times. Let's get to the books. Actually, no, I'll skip that for now. Coleman Young and Detroit Politics, from social activist to power broker. Coleman Young was Detroit's mayor for at least, I think, 20 years. And he basically took Detroit from bad to worse. Not because he was a black guy, but he was a black Marxist. And anywhere Marxism reigns, the reign of fortune is black rain. Not as in terms of race, but as in terms of death. And now Detroit is basically a dead city. It will come back at some point, but not anytime soon. I know there's sports teams playing there with new stadiums and the Lions, blah, blah, blah. That's not real. That's not real progress. That's illusory progress along with casinos. That's not real infrastructure building. That's just common dolt enterprise. Let's get this sticker off here. Anyway, Coleman Young, who was a quote machine because he was so corrupt, is a good topic, but not a very good politician and certainly not a city builder. And he was a career criminal, honestly. Look at that. David Rockefeller and Coleman Young. What a combination. Wait, is this motherfucker signed? No, that's just on there. That'd been great if it was signed by him. Not that it would give it that much value, but yeah. Let me open this chat. Oh, we do have it open. Is your branch bricked right now? What do you mean, branch? You mean the branches of my family tree? Is your branch bricked right now? Agent Pickle. Pickles fucking. Still here, Agent Pickles fucking. What's 6 and 7? What are these people talking about? What do you got? Participants, are you still here? Yeah, they're both still here. What are you saying now? So I can answer you proper. Damn, Agent Pickles fucking. Let's see what this bullshit is. Hey, it's a literal pickle too. How fucking cute. Oh, they started their account today. Shocking. Very shocking. Tabitha Watson. Let's see what you got to say about yourself. Tabitha Watson. Anyway, let's get on with these books. This book, Art Spiegelman Mouse, which I believe is supposedly banned, although I found the copy at the thrift store. Has some controversy attached to it, obviously. Father Bleeds History. Doesn't this have, like, what is up with this book? Didn't it have some gay sex or something? Is that what the big controversy was about it? I don't recall, so I just picked it up anyways. Something about this book that had people in an uproar. Anyway, let's see what some of this says. Ah, grandmother, your is even tastier than I remembered. No, it's not like before the war. Vladik, I can't get the foods I need. Each of us gets coupons for 8 ounces of bread a day, and a tiny bit of margarine, sugar, and jam per week. That's all. So how do we manage? I've donated a lot of the Gemindi, the Jewish community organization, and Wolf works there. So we get a little extra. And there's the black market. With money, you can always get anything. It's dangerous, though. The Nazis take you off to a work camp for breaking any minor law. Worse, even if you don't break any laws. And those that are taken away, they're never seen again. Yeah, I don't really know what this book's about. Don't care, Eva. I'm going to look it up. Mouse by Art Spiegelman. See if it was banned. I could have swore this book had some kind of a supposed banned elements to it. In January 2022, the McMinn County, Tennessee school board voted to ban the Pulitzer Prize winning graphic novel Mouse from its 8th grade curriculum, citing reasons including inappropriate language and nudity. All right, there you go. I mean, I don't think it's this. People want to say it's banned, but obviously I have a copy, so it's not banned. Just because people don't want it in their schools is not banning a book. Just like keeping Hustler and Playboy out of a school is not banning it. It's just not proper material for children to read. Anyway, that's that. We shall go to these history from things, essays on material culture. And I'm not really sure what the definition of material culture is. No, that's light on. It looks very dim. Maybe I need to clean off the camera. Yeah, looks better. All right, see what the definition of material culture is. Material culture. I got 2 books on material culture today, but I've never heard that term. I'm guessing it's just things that we own. Pewter, card table, lots of highlighting. Material culture encompasses the physical objects and artifacts produced, used, and valued by a society, offering insights into its social, economic, and cultural aspects. So history from things, essays on material culture. Whoa. 18 essays discuss the use of artifacts and material culture, evidence in broadening historical understanding of the past. Contributions come from a wide array of backgrounds. And then I also got this book, Material Culture Studies in America. More highlighting, probably used in a college course. Material Culture Studies, 1876 to 1976. See if this gives blah, blah, blah. Has taught Grinnell. This only tells about him. So I don't really know shit about material cultures. Material culture. Death heads, cherub, and urn willow design is to be found in almost every cemetery in eastern Massachusetts. Death's head, cherub, urn, and willow. Be one I would interested in reading. These are a collection of books about houses, architecture, and this one probably is not applicable to where I am since I'm in Michigan. And this is for New Mexico, northern New Mexico, houses, 1850 to 1912, Agnesa Lufkin-Reeve. What do houses tell us about the people who built or remodeled them? Adobe, carefully painted to make it look like bricks, says so much about Anglo culture and presence in New Mexico from 1850 to 1912, as does any political history of those years. The study of domestic architecture, though, is more than a regional one. It addresses issues basic to an understanding of how one culture transports its social mores, cultural values, and material goods to a frontier where they then take hold. And falling in line with that is Greek Revival Architecture in America by Talbot Hamlin. It's a Dover thrift edition. 4 of these other books I got are on architecture. Greek Revival. I don't really know anything about any architecture, but as I said, it's kind of a instant collection of basic architecture, and this is on Greek Revival. This one I'm actually interested in because the Victorian era was rather great. Victorian cottage residences, Andrew Jackson Downing. I mean, Victorian houses are brilliant. I wish I had a Victorian house, but mine's a little after the Victorian age. But I have a few Victorian houses on my street. Be interesting to read. I don't know when it was written. What's it say? Had to have been written before first published in 1842. So this is at the heart of the Victorian era. Look at that. The Architecture of Country Houses by A.J. Downing. When was this written? Downing died in 52. Is that the same guy? Yeah. Oh, A.J. and Andrew Jackson. Well, all right then. So that just gives you a further view on the Victorian era. Let's see what this dude looks like. Yeah. Hello, Bobs. It's weird that there's 2 Dover editions and each has a different rendition of his name. You'd think they'd be uniform. Houses by Mail, a guide to houses from Sears, Roebuck, and Company. I mean, it's possible that my house is too, but I don't know. Never quite seen a house that looks like mine. This somewhat looks like it, except I don't have that fucking, whatever that porch is. Kind of have that little lay on, but I have a enclosed porch. It'd be great if my house was a Sears house. But I don't know. What era is this from? When was that? From 1908 to 1940. So it's possible that my house is a Sears house, since it's supposedly 1916. We'll have to look through this to see if it is. The barn style house. It's definitely not a barn house. We got the barn style, the Dover, the Manchester. The Farnham, the Sunlight, the Solace. Those all look a bit like English cottages, Irish cottages. The number 177, that's fucking brilliant. Hey, Brovs, give me the number 177. I love it, Brov. I love it. The Fullerton. There's got to be some Fullertons in my area. Look at that motherfucker, the Magnolia. $5,000 for that house. Now you'd be lucky if you can build a tiny house for $5,000. See, that's getting kind of close to what my house looks like. Be great if it was in here. Wonder if these were all that they had. 200 or so houses. Would not be shocked if a bunch of houses in this area are Sears houses. Look at that fucking place. Nice. A lot of them have numbers. The Princeville. Hi, Prince. Anyway, that's Houses by Mail by Sears Roebuck. Now, 117 house designs of the 20s by Gordon Van Tyne and Company. Where was Van Tyne? Iowa area. Now, these more look like the sort of houses I have. See, that's kind of what I have, sort of. Except mine's taller and 2 stories. Closer to that. Even closer to that. Except with an enclosed porch. Yes. Yeah, so there's those. Architecture, houses. What do we got? Someone commenting here? What do you got? What do you got to say? Hector Ivan Carrion. Nice. Here's 7 or 8 books on 6 books by John Updike. Back at Bay, that is. I'm not sure what the value of a John Updike book is, but I'm guessing it's not very much. But like I said, there were 6 books by him. I already have some of the Rabbit books, Rabbit Run and Rabbit Redux. There's Brazil. Anything about these books. I think I've read some of Updike's poetry. That's all I know him by, and I was not impressed by that. John Updike, Rogers version. At worst, I can just sell them. At best, like this. This is pretty cool looking cover. The Man Who Became a Soprano, The Afterlife. The Billingses, so settled in their ways, found in their 50s that their friends were doing sudden, surprising things. Mitch Lothrop, whom Carter and Jane had always rather poked fun at as stuffy, ran off with a young Jamaican physical therapist, and Augustina, who had seemed such a mouse all those years, obsessed with her garden. So yeah. 6 books by John Updike. I keep saying Updike. Memories of the Ford Administration, a novel. This one seems really curious. Alfred Clayton, the hero of John Updike's 15th novel, has received a request from the Northern New England Association of American Historians for his memories and impressions of the Gerald Ford administration. Exciting stuff. Do like the cover of that one. John Updike's Rogers version. In the Beauty of the Lilies. It will leave you stunned and breathless. Something tells me it would not leave me stunned and breathless, but I still got it, bro. Brazil, nothing. What's that, a fox in the back? It looks like a fox. John Updike's 16th novel takes place in a stylized Brazil where almost anything is possible. If you are young and in love, Tristal Raposo, a 19-year-old black child of the Rio slums, and Isabel Lemme, an 18-year-old upper-class white girl, meet on Copacabana Beach. Their flight into marriage takes them to the farthest reaches of Brazil's Wild West. Back at Bay. Beck in check. Beck presides. Beck pleads guilty. Beck noir. Beck and the Bounty of Sweden. Henry Beck, the moderately well-known Jewish-American writer who served as the hero of John Updike's previous Beck, a book, and Beck is Back, has become older but scarcely wiser. So it's his attempt at comedy, apparently. All right, back to the regular books. Introduction to St. Thomas Aquinas, obviously modern library edition. Hopefully it's not too marked up. Possibly sell it. 1948. some reason, people tend to mark up not John Updike, but Modern Library Classics, as this is not a bad edition. Seems unmarked up. Niagara and the Daredevils. The lady at the thrift store picked this one up and started looking at it. The story of the Niagara River and the men and women who defied it, by Philip Mason. Obviously not a very long book. About the daredevils who crossed it and jumped over in barrels and that sort of bullshit. Been there one time. And my ingenious father decided that we go there from the Canadian side and cross over back into America. And in doing so, because we were going to Montreal, and the genius crossed the border for an hour, and then we came back and they fucking searched their luggage. So that was cute. I had all my underwear and stuff ripped out of my suitcase, and I had to put it back in. 4 great Russian plays: Chekhov, Gogol, Gorky, and Turgenev. I actually may have this edition already, but since it was only 50 cents, I grabbed it just in case. Too lazy to scan it. Probably should have. But like I said, for 50 cents, and it's all marked up, so at worst, I can just use it as a reading copy. Pretty sure I have it. Now, this book is great. Those Curious New Cults, as if it were just something flighty, from astrology to Zen, from witchcraft to Jesus freaks, a searching, quizzical look at the cult explosion. I like the jacket. Edward Sanders, which makes me think of Ed Sanders, the poet, but I don't know that he ever went by Edward. I mean, obviously in his life he probably did. We're going to say that this is not loading. That will not be looked upon nicely if it isn't loading. Please say you're not fucking stopping. Property of Edward Sanders. You would be curious if it was Ed Sanders, the poet. Not that I really care about Ed Sanders, the poet, but when the force is at work, or did the devil make me Jew it? I Ching, Astrology, Edgar Casey, and the ARE, Spiritualism, Witchcraft, Satanism. Homemade religion, or more power to the people. Scientology, Black Muslims, Herbert Armstrong and his Plain Truth, and the Children of God and other Jesus movements. And the Jesus movement, pardon. Willa Cather, Maya Antonia. Last week at this same thrift store where I got this one, I saw a copy of Maya Antonia in paperback, and I said, nah, I ain't getting it. But then I saw this one in the Everyman's Library, or is it Everyman's hardcover. I could not pass it up. Thomas Merton's. I do want to see the cover of this. The board. Pretty boring. Thomas Merton, Life and Holiness. This one I'll probably sell just because it has some value. As a $15 book or so. It's in pretty good shape with the dust jacket, although the jacket has some wear and tear. If I can make $15, that will have paid for basically all these books today, which I think I spent 13, and I think I spent $18 on books today, which includes those audiobooks as well. This is intended to be a very simple book, an elementary treatment of a few basic ideas in Christian spirituality, bruv. The Life and Letters of St. Peter. This one I mainly got because of this publisher's book tag. Does it say Dolly? Or does it say Dale? This fucking Dolly, that'd be brilliant. Salvador Dali once owned this book. Copyright 1941. Obviously, it's an older book containing landmarks in the life and expositions of the epistles of the fisherman apostle. I don't see any letters. Didn't it say letters? Life and letters. Maybe they're in the back. How the fuck could you write a letter? Wasn't St. Peter around the time of Jesus? Wouldn't he have had to write, or did people write letters back then? Would they put them in scrolls? Anyway, this nice hardcover. Probably for resale if it has any value. The Magic of Shirley Jackson. Obviously, it's a collection of Shirley Jackson stories. It's not in very good shape. The spine is jacked, as you can see. Falling apart, but it's a good reading copy for 50 cents. Never know, there might be an errant $100 bill in there too. Let's see what kind of stories are in there. The Lottery, The Tooth. Come Dance with Me in Ireland. Might be a good one to read tonight, since it is St. Patrick's Day. Come Dance with Me in Ireland, 109. The Tooth. 107. Come Dance with Me in Ireland. Young Mrs. Archer was sitting on the bed with Kathy Valentine and Mrs. Corn playing with the baby and gossiping when the doorbell rang. Mrs. Archer, saying, "Oh dear," went to push the buzzer that released the outside door of the apartment building. "We had to live on the ground floor," she called to Kathy and Mrs. Corn. Everybody rings our bell for everything." When the inner doorbell rang, she opened the door of the apartment and saw an old man standing in the outer hall. He was wearing a long, shabby black overcoat and had a square white beard. He held out a handful of shoelaces. "Madam," the old man said. "Oh," Mrs. Archer said. "Oh, I'm terribly sorry, but madam," the old man said, "if you would be so kind, a nickel apiece." Mrs. Archer shook her head and backed away. "I'm afraid not," she said. "Thank you anyway, madam," he said, "for speaking courteously." Yeah, we'll read that later. This guy I do not like, but I collect cat books just the same, so I got the weirdo. When your cat is a wallflower, there's just something about the guy I just don't like. I mean, half of it's his sideburns, which I detest. But I just don't like the guy. He just comes off as just very spooky to me. Cat Mojo. The confidence that cats exhibit when they are at ease in their environment and in touch with their natural instincts to hunt, catch, kill, eat, groom, and sleep. In a territory where their ownership is assured. The origins of the urban crisis, race and inequality in post-war Detroit. Winner of the 1998 Bancroft Prize. Obviously, it's about Detroit and the urban struggle, which led to riots and the death of Detroit, basically. The Coffin of Peace. What the hell is that about? The containment of public housing. I think I have a book on Charles Johnson, actually. Look at this. Urban renewal. Fucking destroyed Detroit. Here's a popular topic. A history of Israel. I'm sure lots of people are really dying to know, since most people hate Israel now. Personally, I don't really care about Israel. This seems to be almost a textbook, sort of Israel. What years it written? 70s? 1981. John Bright. The Independent Kingdoms of Israel and Judah. Probably a book I would not buy if it wasn't 50 cents, but it was, and so I have it. This book, I don't know why I got it. The ABCs of Doll Collecting by John Schweitzer. Hoping it was worth some money, but I doubt it is. Look at these fucking creepers. Cupido. I have a few books on dolls. Hopefully this is worth something and I will sell it. Look at these creepy motherfuckers. You creepers. Look at this. Some creepy shit, buddy. I don't know, though. Teddy bears are just as fucking spooky. Whoa, we got some color pictures of these creepers. Hey, that's what's her name? No, it isn't that one. The Curious Doll or whatever it was called. Look at that. That's creepy. All right, that's all. Nice pickup today of $17 or $18 worth of books, and I got several piles.